Okay, we are with Super Internet Director Duran Cage, and he's driving his Macadocious. What kind of car is this?
Chrysler 300S.
But it looks pretty pimp. Okay, and we are literally driving, going to Alan Vines in Jackson, Tennessee. And you know what? I was inspired because he can't help himself. He was just spitting knowledge about subprime, special finance, etc. Okay, so Duran, please break it down to the public and YouTube fans out there. What are we talking about today? Subprime.
Subprime.
Give me some education, inspiration, motivation.
You know, the main thing is to treat the customers like you would treat an 800 credit score person. As I was just telling Sean, you have to treat them with respect and thank them for the opportunity. As soon as they walk in the front door, from when they send a credit app, anything, you thank them for everything that they're doing. Just before you even get started with the transactions, anything, you thank them. And all of a sudden their guard gets down, and then the best thing that happens is trust. And when you earn somebody's trust, it's game over from there. So.
Okay, so wait a minute. So how we got on the subject is you were mentioning that there's, certain people that still refer to subprime prospects as roaches, cockroaches, bogues, mooches, heathens, hooligans, all that other stuff.
Yeah.
How do you feel about that?
I think it's terrible because, everybody's got a history. Not everybody's perfect. I mean, you don't know what could have happened. Somebody in the family could have, got cancer or something, and they dumped all their savings to help that person, just like any one of us would. And all of a sudden, their credit got a little shot. You don't know what people's circumstances are, but you don't know where they're at now. Just because they were bogue before doesn't mean that they're bogue now, that you have to treat them like something like that. And they're terrible words to use, but I mean, you have to treat people with respect, dignity, and it all works itself out.
What's interesting is that, I've been in the automotive industry for almost 13 years. I've actually worked at a very successful subprime dealership. It was Pine Belt, Nissan, Kia, Cadillac. And at Cadillac Used Cars, we were selling like 65 subprime deals at $3,500 a cop. And I got to tell you, is that, it's exactly what you said. Unfortunately, a lot of sales professionals and even managers perpetuate that negative culture of that these are roaches, bogues, and all other stuff. But the fact is this, especially with the current landscape of the economy, with the housing, situation, the mortgage crisis, the bailouts, the automotive industry, just the job, unemployment, the elections, all this stuff that's going on, people have had tremendous difficulties. To the point where there are certain manufacturers. You're a Hyundai dealership as well, correct?
That's right.
The economy is so bad that Hyundai manufacturer, if you remember, was the first OEM that actually put a special program that was the buyer's insurance or the buyback program. Again, if an OEM recognizes, well, wait a minute, there's such a catastrophe, a crisis out there, that for us to sell cars, we got to let people know, hey, if something bad happens, we'll take the car back. That lets you know that this is an epidemic, almost like at the bubonic plague level, financially speaking. Right or wrong, brother?
Exactly. That's
okay,
right.
So can you try to imagine, and then on top of it, you are in Tennessee, which is basically the bankruptcy capital of the United States. Am I close on that one?
That's right.
Okay, so if that is what is standard operating procedure, you've got two choices that I see it. You could either treat these people like heathens and parasites, or you could treat them like highline customers. They could get treated like heathens and parasites, but at any dealership. Why are they going to choose to go be treated like a heathen and parasite at your dealership? Oh, because you get them approved? Stop. It shouldn't be that way. We need to change the way that our co-workers, our colleagues, have their paradigms. Like you just said, you hit something that was like very deep, that you don't know what happened. Somebody could have lost their job. Somebody could have got cancer. Somebody could have did this. Somebody could have did that. They're not all people that are just heathens and hooligans, etc. Just like all car people aren't scumbags. Just like, all, priests aren't pedophiles. Yes, I said it. Rewind a YouTube tape. I'm going there. Just like all cops, don't just beat up, and profile. There's good and bad in everything, but you cannot, be unprofessional, unethical, immoral, and treat people horribly. You've got to try to create that feeling of respect and dignity. These are human beings. And now, what did you say? You had somebody that was a subprime customer, and she kind of lied, right? Tell the story a little bit.
She kind of, and somehow we'll just say that there was a miscommunication in how long she'd been working at a certain place. But the fact of the matter is, we were able to help this lady get it to the point where we got that green check mark. We got it approved. and you know, maybe it doesn't work out to where we've got to switch her to a different car, but the fact of the matter is within 24 hours she referred 4 different people to us. One of them bought the very next day. I mean, so that's how important it is. I mean, because she'd been from dealership to dealership to dealership. Nobody gave anything to her. I mean, nobody, up bus, drove by and said, why, you know, wave, go by, whatever. But, I mean, we gave her a chance. We sat down, talked to her, and she appreciates that for us.
Can you imagine that if that's standard operating procedure for dealerships all over the country, or at least you get it, I mean, that if you engage each prospect, treat them like a Highline customer, treat them like a human being, one or two things are going to happen. Either you're going to sell them an automobile, or you're not. And you're not just an independent, you know, subprime dealership. You are a franchise dealership with multiple franchises. You know, again, you could either A, secure a loan for this prospect or that prospect, or B, if you can't, you might, you know, turn around and create one of the best referral agents out there. Or even if not, maybe, you know, when they get their credit a little bit rehabilitated, they've got down payment, they've got, you know, circumstances changed, they'll remember you outside of the box compared to all the other dealerships that treated them like negatively. And you know what drives me, because I want to just say this to everybody watching this video, can you imagine how that must feel if you are an adult and you've got kids? Because I see, you know, families come into the dealership all the time like, I need help, and then they got bounced out of there. And, you know, how do they feel to their kids, to their spouses? You know what I mean? That's horrible, you know? So again, I'm glad that you get it, Duran, and I hope that people see this. Really, you know, when they're in the little circle with the other salespeople and they're smoking their cigarettes, they're joking around, you know, Badger commercial style about bugs and roaches, but they got to remember that, you know, they've really got to rethink that. And by the way, I want to say something. I want to add, because a lot of dealers don't really, I don't want to deal with special finance customers. Let me just pull your coat for a second on a reality check. Do you realize that lawyers, doctors, athletes, people that make a lot of money are also, you know, susceptible to bad credit? I mean, like, I can't even tell you. I mean, look at Nicolas Cage. Nicolas Cage, he got bad credit. He got problems. You know what I'm saying? There you go. That's Duran Cage, Nicolas Cage's cousin, obviously. We've also got people that, you know, that have invested. You know, Bernie Madoff, I mean, he caused a lot of bad credit situations, don't you think, with the billion-dollar Ponzi scheme? I mean, again, a lot of people, not just people that live in crack houses, have bad credit. Oh, you know, statistically speaking, over 50% of the United States has less than perfect credit. But the good news is that people that make a lot of money have that down payment for those banks like Drive Financial, right or wrong?
That's right.
Okay, so the moral of this story is treat everybody respect. I mean, this goes back to Channel 13, PBS, Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood type stuff. You just don't say certain things to certain, you know, just to people. It ain't right. Would you agree with that, sir?
I agree.
Now, I'm going to close out with the last minute saying, you know what is another, you know, here's the tip of the day, and this is not look both ways before crossing the street. This is a real tip. You want to try to engage, I don't care what dealership you're at, what state you're in Special Finance Online. Special Finance is like the wild, wild west online. You can turn around and go to Google and type in bad credit, car loan, bankruptcy, da-da-da, how to reestablish my credit, da-da-da. And you know what? So many dealerships are not taking advantage of subprime online. How do you think you get leads from special finance lead source providers? Majority of them generate organic or pay-per-click search engine optimization and search engine dominance, and they, you know, inflate the numbers and sell it to you per lead. You could be your own, metaphorically speaking, auto trader, your own Auto Bytel, your own Cars.com, but it's for subprime in your geographic market. Does that make sense? You could even put a big old billboard. If you had a website like autocreditapproved.com, you could find the biggest, baddest dealership, even if you're a small store like, you know, David and Goliath, and put a billboard right across the street from them that says, hey, when your dealership says no, Autocredit Approved says yes. All right, so that's your friendly tip of the day. Subprime is where it's at. This is Sean V. Bradley, and this is Dealer TV on the way to the dealership from the airport with super duper internet director Duran Cage, a.k.a. Nicolas Cage's cousin.
That's right.
Bye-bye.